Welcome back, everybody. This is Brothermutant here. Today we're going to do a couple of things. One, I'm going to take you through a task force. This is called the Lady Grey Task Force. We're getting ready to go to Rikti War Zone to start it up. I have switched over to a tank because the team needed one. And there's a couple of fiddly bits on this one that you need to have a good team composition for. One of which being the minor hammy, the little mini hammy, I suppose you'd call it, that you fight. You have to have a decent amount of stuns and or holds, I believe, to lock certain parts of that little bastard down. So that's a problem. We do have, of course, a nice composition. We have at least one controller. We have a couple of defenders at least. We even got a mastermind on the team, so we'll have buffs and debuffs. The thing we didn't have is someone that could basically take the beating for everybody to shit off of them. So I switched to my tank. Now this is Blood Red Moon. She is a shield tank, as you can see. Not only is she shield, but she's also dark melee. Gives her a lot of dark powers, which are to hit debuff powers as well. You see that once I get everything on, that I'll be at the soft cap and beyond for for melee, for AoE, and for ranged attacks. The reason we're doing this task force first is part of the second part of this video, which will be the Rikti raid that happens after. If you do this and complete it right after, you'll see in the Hero Zone events, you'll see that the Rikti invade a specific part of town, and therefore you go to that area. If you get on a team quick enough, you can actually kill all the bombs that you need, and then you go from there to killing a certain number of Rikti soldiers of a specific kind, certain ones in the assault suit, which you'll actually see the assault suit during this mission. So I'll try to point that out to you guys as well. This is, again, to get an accolade. The accolade is Elusive Mind, if I remember correctly. So Elusive Mind, it'll be the one that gives you psi defenses, psi resistance for a brief period of time with a massive cooldown. Obviously, it's not anything to write home about, but it's, you know, bragging rights like most things. Looks like we got a TP here on the team. Baller. Zip this shit up faster. Sweet. So we should be able to zip through this content reasonably easy. You know, almost everyone on the team is going to be like 50 or 50 plus. Hopefully, they didn't do anything crazy. They kept it at 50, which is freaking sick. So we're just going to mow through these things here. The one thing that I will say about shield set, since we're trying to keep you entertained while we're doing this stuff, we got RAs on the twins. That's regeneration and recovery aura. They basically have a healer on the team. Let's see. Let's get over here. I don't know that it is, and I don't think it is. So, if they want to, I don't mind. If I have any real concern about shield, it's not that the defenses suck. It's not that the resistances are lame. It's a little bit of column A, a little column B. The thing that I hate is the clickable mez protection, which is this thing here you see on autopilot. That autopilot really kind of screws you. If you get it shut off for any reason, you get any kind of like slow buffs on you. You can actually hose your character pretty big, especially being a tank that relies on those mez protections. So that's the one thing about the set that I'd say is the biggest downfall. Looks like we have someone over here. Blaster. We'll come get that here in a moment. Make sure everybody's reasonably protected. Over here. I do like the shield has an offensive ability. One of the reasons I actually kind of like the set in the first place. It has a teleport, as you can see. It's called Shield Charge. Really nice AoE move. I forget if it's considered PB AoE or targeted AoE. Mostly it's targeted, but you target the ground. So kind of the issue on that one. The set itself has good defenses, and the kind that you would want. The ones for melee, range, and AoE. However, having said that, they have shit all for psi protection, which is one of the reasons why it's kind of nice that we're actually doing this. So I would really, really like to have some side resistance on my tune, especially some side defenses as well. Because our cooldown for this, and like I literally didn't invest a lot in it, it's one of the other reasons that this is kind of annoying. You feel like cheating yourself, and you almost are. I just took the one slot it gave me for the mez protection and put a nice 50% recharge IO in there, just a straight IO. It is enough to keep it on permanent then, again, assuming I'm not debuffed in any way, but just barely, and that is another issue again. So if I would have been smart, I would have done 2, and that would have been more than enough then to make it permanent and then some, so I wouldn't have to worry quite so much. So we're clearing the whole damn floor here. And you see we got a blaster over here that's got issues. This one's a dead end. I just like proving it to myself. I'm going to zip over here and help our blaster. Who's just crushing it apparently. Go blaster, go. Another thing that I kind of dug about this set, for those of you wondering why I went shield for something so incredibly weird for a tanker, it's not that it's a horrible set. It does have a nice taunt aura. Instead of doing damage, it actually gives you a damage buff based on the number of bad guys around you. So I just bring my damage bonus over here. The more guys around me, the higher that number will get. This was a pathetic attempt to try to make a tank that could do damage without having to resort to the ever-famous rage stacking, which is from super strength, or the what do we call it, the fire shit that you take if you're a fire armor set, a fire, what is it called, not fire armor, it is fire armor, fire aura, it's called, I think. Fire aura super strength tanks are one of those sets out there that are amazing. I've had an old team leader that had it, and he was great at it. They're a little squishy, but not so much so. If you're playing for it, you know what you're doing, you actually do pretty well for yourself. But the issue is you really have to have a lot of like global recharge. You have that global recharge so that you can get things like your instant heal back as soon as possible. You click it, it's healing flames, I think is what it's called. Amazing power. I think it even gives you some toxic resistance possibly too, but it's the heal, because it's going to be what keeps you topped off, because you will be taking a beating. It is a resistance based set, not a defense based set. That doesn't mean you don't build for defense. You can and should, but it's still one of those where you have issues then as a result of being a resistance only set. The real issue for me on it is I've seen it done before, and it's not that I'm not impressed by it, it's just I tried my best not to repeat what other people are doing. This was a tune that I had done once upon a time back when I was with that tank, my friend. And this was, my pathetic attempt to say, oh, I can do damage too. Yeah, no, I can't. I do okay. I can fight stuff at +4 × 8. Not everything, but I can do plenty of missions +4 × 8 and have fun doing it. The downside is if I'm doing it solo, I kill things extremely slowly. So I have a lot of really decent AoE attacks. Many of them are on really decent cooldowns. So that's the other downside of that. The shield charge alone is just baller. I managed to get its cooldown to a decent number, but it's still one of those where it's still pretty rough. We have, because I went dark melee, I almost say dark melee. Dark melee, I have not only the Sans Mu type power called Shadow Maul. It's the exact same animation, same exact everything, of course, except for the fact that it's slotted. So it's an amazing power. The other is we have Dark Consumption and Soul Drain. Soul Drain is another move that I like because it allows me to buff myself for damage and to hit buff. And again, it's dependent on the number of guys around me that I hit with it. So between it and the damage increase or against all odds, I thought I was going to be a tank that's just going to be, I have a shit ton of extra damage potential. Yeah, I don't. It's definitely there, don't get me wrong, I have a nice buff to me, but, rage from, what's called super strength would have been better. It really is. It's one of those, if you can get that one perma or so close to perma that's down by like a second, which ain't that big of a deal really, you're actually doing real well for yourself, because that move, that rage power, buffs your damage output by, I want to say, like 100%. So it's a 100% global increase to all your damage potential, which is just ridiculous. And definitely a way to make sure that you have a good recharge on it, I find, is there's a move in there, Super Strength, that does KB, which is actually a knockdown. It's called Foot Stomp. And there is a awesome, amazing proc for powers that can take KB shots, and so can Foot Stomp. And it's, I forget the name of the actual IO set, but you can look it up. It's under the KB sets. It's a level 51, and its proc is that it gives you a global increase to your recharge by 100%, but only for like 10 seconds when it procs. It doesn't proc all that often, but if you use it in a move that you're constantly hitting guys with, then it's definitely worth it. Where's this guy's going here? But that one, like literally, for Foot Stomp, I could even put it in something like Shield Charge. It's such an amazing attack, recipe, that I used to try to slot it all the time, especially if I used, like I wanted to get a lot of recharge in my build. This one, of course, has hasten and even has burnout. For when the poop really hits the fan, I really need all my kick-ass powers back. Then I can kick out burnout, which just has been sitting in my trace ever since I got it. I've never used it anything except just to joke around with it, so I can get all my stuff off the cooldown instantly. And if you think that that's not that big of a deal, Soul Drain twice, back to back, with a lot of guys around you, can put you really close to that damn cap. So for damage potential, it's kind of a nice one. The other things that this set had going for it was because the shield set doesn't have anything in the way of heals. It has a global increase to your HP pool in one of your powers. It's an auto power, which of course you take, and it's the one that I think gives you resistances to most things. The other thing that it had is because of that, because I didn't have my own self-heal, the Dark Melee set has a heal called Siphon Life. It's not amazing, but it's enough to keep you topped off. Now, of course, if you wanted to play the Dark tank, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's reasons that it synergizes so well with itself. It's another resistance-based set, but it has an amazing heal in it called Dark Regeneration from the armor set, and it's just a retarded amount of healing that you get from that, but it's a long cooldown. So basically, Siphon Life is to fill in the gaps and to keep you topped off when you don't need the best of the best power firing off. So should be activating this too, because it gives everybody endurance. I grabbed the Ageless Radio. This is an amazing incarnate ability. So getting the one that heals or barrier, resistance and defense for everybody around you, including yourself. You can even res a teammate or two if you go the right way. I grab Ageless because Ageless, if you go on one side, it gives you not only a massive amount of endurance back, which is everybody loves, it also gives a global recharge buff. So when you see it up, you'll see it steadily fall off me. But when it goes off, pacing comes up really, really quick as well. So again, another reason why I'm kind of thinking that I probably besides the fact that I never seem to use it. And it should be a pretty good indication that you've picked the power for no good reason if you've never used the power. It literally is one of those where it just says sit there on my tray without fail, and I've never used it. It just sits there. I almost forget that I have the damn thing. So I probably need to rearrange my tray kind of here too. And of course, you see I'm not even using my incarnate pets. And that's not exactly a bad thing, because I don't like to have the team moving a bunch of stuff, mowing through stuff reasonably quick anyway. So it's just kind of clutter at that point. But we're basically looking for Penelope Yin. She's going to be in one of these back rooms, and then we're going to have to fight what's that bastard called? The Clockwork King. He's going to show up. We're going to kick his ass. You know him. He's the one with the floating eyeballs. and a brain in a jar. Dude is super creep. And he has a thing for Penelope, and he tries to kidnap her. She's actually has her own task force. So if you do the Penelope pin, she's a replacement for her sister Psyche, which you can now still do in Ouroboros Flashback. Super fun to do the other day. I might actually do a video on that someday just because. But this is, again, officially the Lady Grey Task Force. In Rikti War Zone, you have to be, you want to say, 30 or 35 to get it. Come on, everybody. Go this way. And I should be popping hasten every now and again just to make sure that my powers aren't quickly charged. That's the other reason for it. Now, I can't have, so sadly, I've yet to figure out a way to have more than 2 powers on autopilot. But as soon as they're up, they basically will try to fire off. There's only one that you can activate at a time, as far as I know. Now, there might be a trick that I'm just not aware of. If you guys know what that trick, feel free to share that information with everybody if you really appreciate it. But until that time, I basically just assume that one power has to be on autopilot, or can be on autopilot, I should say. And in my instance, instead of it being hasten, which is usually my go-to, in this case, because I have the clickable meds protection, well, that's the one I assume that I'm going to want to have on autopilot all the time, so I don't forget to click it, so I don't forget to be meds protected. Yeah, here he is, little floating eyeball bastard. He's here to protect her from boys. Sick little bastard. He's the one that you fight, positron? No, synapse. Yeah, he's a little jackass. You fight him, and just before you fight him in the last mission, Babbage shows up. So if you see people announcing that Babbage is here, Babbage is up, one little hand in Skyway. That's common, and that's because Babbage always appears when you do that particular task force for that particular step. Once you know Babbage is up, you know that you're basically done. So I need to go take Penny to safety. Come here, guys. Boom. Yeah, he is definitely a stalker kid. You got that right. Dude's quick factor times 20. These guys do a lot of psychic attacks and a lot of psychic damage as a result, which is not surprising. A lot of people fight the robots and they're expecting to get the electrical attacks. And certainly some of them do, but many don't. So it's one of those where if you come in thinking that, oh, I'll be protected because I have a lot of electrical or energy resistance, energy defense. Cool. Do you have a lot of psi protection? Yeah, and that's where you get hammered by this guy sometimes. Now, fortunately, his attacks key off of whether they're melee, AoE, or range, even if they're psi. So I still have my protection from them, thank God. If not, I would be hosed. At this point, you're just trying to get back to here, and or actually back to the doors. And when you do get to the exit, so to speak. Turn. When you do get back to the exit, so to speak, you'll fight him and all his little minions. I don't mean there won't be some on the way, so I want to make sure that I'm staying close, just in case they get jumped. They will teleport in sometimes. It doesn't help that we have Dark on the team. Not complaining, I'm just saying that because they have the what are they called? Shadow Fall or whatever is the name of the power. It's a cloak around them and everyone around them that basically gives defense resistances as well as stealth, which is the problem, because if you stealth, in many cases these guys that are lead them out to the front door, which is what we're basically doing, they can't see you, so you literally break the immersion. She literally stands still and everyone runs past her, and you're thinking she's following and she's not following. What the hell's she not following for? Oh, she got stealth over on? Ah, shit. So that's a common, not a mistake, but just a thing to look out for. So this guy's basically waiting right here where the bad guys are at. Oops. Forgot to turn. So since he's probably over there waiting for us to bring Penelope to him and do the exit, we'll just jump on in here, wail on this son of a bitch. Take him out. Take their friends out. Get attention. If we do that, we should be okay. I don't think any more is going to show up, so it's basically just us wailing on him. One of the things that I do like about Dark Melee, by the way, is many of the attacks not only are smashing and negative energy, there's at least a couple of them that are straight just negative energy. Siphon Life is one, Midnight Grasp is another, and they do really good damage. So if they're not resistant to negative by a lot, not a very common thing to be resistant to, you got a couple of really good solid attacks that are capable of doing some damage. Throw in, like I said, that shield charge that does amazing damage, even single target wise, because it's just a clickable. It's point, click, and poof, you teleport, so that's really fast sort of damage. AoE style, of course, it's amazing, but of course you can still use it in combat with single targets like a clock can here. I got a guy over here who's being dragged. Okay, good. So, this is the first mission, and very Lady Grey will basically lead Penelope out and free her from the clutches of whoever. And then Clockwork King tries to interrupt it, and we kick his ass, and she's gone. Well, pound for pound, I'm going to say that the Lady Grey task force is actually reasonably quick. Yeah, see, they even got ambushed a little bit from behind here. Ooh. Remember, I have the Taunt Aura on me. That's the one that gives bonus to damage. So if I basically just brush it, reasonably near guys, they usually just aggro me immediately. And we can get the hell out of here. We're already done. There's no need to kill everything. From here, to remember what the next mission is. Oh, I forgot I had super speed. This is your Rikti War Zone. These dots here are the established pylons that basically are bubbling up the Rikti War Mothership. If you see down there, you can kind of see the slightest halo of something on tilt. If you get closer, it's basically a giant-ass ship under a force field bubble. And to bring down the shield, you have to take out all the pylons, and then the shield goes down for a brief amount of time, and then you can sabotage the ship and just basically fight on the top of the ship, which is super fun. It's commonly Mothership raid, MSR. So if you see MSR in the chat, like broadcasting, hey, we're going to do an MSR in the Rikti War Zone, that's or RWZ. That's what they're basically telling you. And to do that, you have to be, like I said, to be able to get to this area, for one. And two, it'd be better, you don't have to do it, but it'd be better if you're part of the Freedom Phalanx? I think the Freedom Phalanx. If you're a member of the Freedom Phalanx, or whatever the hell it is, you can, for every guy that you kill, that's a Rikti arrest, or heroes, we don't kill. For every bad guy you arrest, you have a chance to get, let's see if I can show it to you. Vanguard merits. Yeah, you gotta be a member of the Vanguard. That's what it is. If you do that before you join that massive fight that is going to be the Rikti battle for the Mothership, you can have some really good fun getting like lots and lots of those merits. They're not as cool as your regular merits or your hero merits, but you can convert them as a 30 Vanguard merits to 1 reward merit. It's just not great, but in that one big massive fight that you do, you can do easily get 500 merits, which means you can put those into nearly 20 reward merits, which is not bad for literally less than about a half an hour worth of work to get 20 merits like that. It's not bad, and you'll have fun. It's a lot of fun. You fight these guys non-stop, and it's just a massive pain in the ass, but you have to do a league. You can't do it as a team, you have to do a league. I mean, I suppose you could do it as a team, but it's a bad idea. They hit you in mass with so many of these guys. They teleport in so many on your face that you have to have multiple teams, and that's the whole point of the league. This is, by the way, the armor that we're talking about. That's one of the things after this task force is over. You'll have to go to the zone that they're fucking with, basically, that they're invading. This is their retaliation against us taking them out here. And they'll send those the guys, as well as a bunch of these drones and everything else, and Rikti bombs first. You take out so many bombs, you take out so many of those assault mech suited bastards that I just pointed to you, and then so many of these regular Riktis during the invasion. That's the key part. It has to be during the invasion. And then you get 3 different badges. You get all 3 badges. That's all you need, and you get Elusive Mind. It's actually quite cool. So, if I have any issues, it's literally can be resolved by clicking this, because it's usually just a blue bar got sapped kind of thing. Okay, so when we fight these, in this mission, when we're fighting these damn floating, what do you call them, battle droid things, there's an order that people usually swear by for kill this one, kill that one, and get this one first kind of thing. Take these guys out, at least get them to focus their fire on me. Get my team alone. And then the tank, that's my job, is to take the beat and not dish out damage so much. I mean, every bit of damage helps. If you take a thing or 2 down, of course, you feel like you accomplished something, but by and large, if I don't do any kills, but I still manage to keep everybody alive because I'm tanking well enough to keep everything off of my team, then I feel like I've done a good job as a tank. This character finally is starting to flesh out into somebody that's actually worth playing. She was, I will honestly admit, she was very rough to play early on. Leveling her up was a super bear. So her defenses were not at soft cap. I mean, we'll get to soft cap until you start slotting for higher set bonuses. And that's pretty sad. I think you can probably do it if you were to invest in things like maneuvers, which I didn't do. Tough and weave, of course, which I do, so that's helpful. Okay, I want to say it's Famon's the verse. I think Famon's the one we want to take out first. I forget what they do. They all have the basic effects. The fact that my endurance is going down by leaps and bounds, I'm guessing that's what that is. Guys, got 0. Now we focus on war. Suck his left first. He's going to do a little damage and accuracy buff. I should say to hit buff, to be honest. There we go. Guys, got some endurance. And people survive. Now do damage in the process. That's why I kind of like this character, because of those multiple AoE moves that she has. It's real easy then to build for specific protections. Ooh, I have been sapped. Something happened. I didn't see that happen. I lost every toggle. One of the things that's also nice about a tank versus a brute, it's easier to get higher defenses and higher resistances. Not that a brute can't get there, it's just a little harder for them to reach the same levels, and therefore tanks can actually get higher levels. So that's the thing. And they get a higher base hit point, I want to say, for a tank versus a brute. They still have the same cap, I want to say, so that's a thing. But most brutes probably don't really build for mega HP. They get it because of the power to give it to them. That's probably the reason that they have caps. If not, then they're basically relying on the fact that they have an inherent high HP pool compared to everybody else, again, except for tanks. So that's the thing. Another thing that the tanks get that's wonderful is they have punch folk versus poke folk. So to kind of explain how that one works, basically, so you see that I'm using taunt. It's a free power. I mean, I have to pick it as a power choice. I can cast it. Does it cost me any endurance? I don't believe to cast it. So I can spam the damn thing. You probably should. Keeps everything on you. Basically, there's many things in a circle around your target. Let's pull this crap here first. A little buff. So we got famine, war, and pestilence. Anyway, I was saying punch voke versus poke voke. So poke voke is for brutes. Every time that they punch something or damage something, they basically kind of aggro things on them for a decent amount of time. Punch voke is a little stronger version of it, and that's the tank's version. So everybody that I'm smacking, like a circle around them, I get like an AoE taunt effect. So I don't even really use this. So that's kind of nice. I also get nice looking guys. Pop that out. Very nice. So basically, the tank's version, that's why they call it punch voke versus poke voke. It's a little stronger, and therefore it's easier to keep things on you, which again is the job of the tank, and of course the brute to a lesser extent. Brute being by and large the tank equivalent on the wrong side, so to speak. Since everyone has access to both, you're just like, oh, I just want to be a brute that tanks, which is cool. You can totally do it, and there's many really good ones out there, so nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying that they're inferior in any real way, except for that hit point thing I mentioned before. And of course, the resistance and defenses, they don't get as high for a brute compared to a tank base. You can get them high, but they have a penalty to them, so to speak. So an invulnerable tank, for example, slotted the exact same way. Sorry, distracted by the chat. The brute and the tank slotted in the exact same way. The brute will have less resistance and less defenses. So that's the thing. Can they build for it? Sure. Do they have to? Not necessarily. Everybody's just a little different and stuff like that. Brutes usually, I would say, build for not survival so much as damage. Accuracy and damage, being able to hit something, taking a beating is kind of secondary. Still important, sure, but as long as they can do that and survive for a decent amount of time, eventually they become the Hulk equivalent. And the matter they get, the more damage they do, kind of thing. That's their Fury bar that they build. So. Oh, shit. I don't want people thinking that I forgot them. Of course, you see we have portals here. They'll teleport the little bastards in. I can even target the portals and kill it. Or I could just kill the Rikti communications officer, and then the portal will crush. So one of the reasons I like Midnight Grass too is not only does it do straight up only negative energy damage, it has that wonderful ability to immobilize a target. That's the tentacles that you saw rising up. So I have a little bit of control, not much. I do want to crush this stuff, so we're not having problems with guys around us. Because again, you're going to see the 4 horsemen over there. That's going to be the mega fight. And for that one, I'll probably pop at least a resistance, so orange inspiration, and then if I really feel like it's going to be an issue, I'll pop a purple as well. That's defense. So between those two, that should give you pretty much what you need. Let's just do those just to make sure. Death, famine's almost dead. Death is going down, war. I may have killed it already. Nope, one got away. Get back here, you bastard. I've never seen them actually travel like that before. They usually just hover right there, so I guess I'm being a bad tank. And here's our other doofus. That's nice. I have no idea what all these ones do. Like I said, I'm going to say Fame is the one that everybody goes for first. So. They're up in the diff. It's letting us know that it's going to be +4 difficulty. Since we're all probably, or most of us are probably 50 +1, that really means there'll be 54 to our 51. That's not that big a deal. Our supergroup leader wanted to know what I thought of the base. That was the thing that was in the chat that was distracting me. I honestly have not even been there. Unlike that, this is one of the only tunes I have on his supergroup, and I don't think I play her all that much. Not that I don't enjoy playing this character. Usually there's better tanks, and that's not that shield sucks or that dark melee sucks. I'm not the best tank, so you have to be. I'd say when you play a tank, especially if you're outside, you want to zoom out like so you can kind of see the battlefield a little bit better, because you can click a guy with hell over there and hit him with a ranged attack of some kind to get him to taunt back onto you. Good blade. But yeah, like I said, there's usually another tank or brute that wants to do it. So it's one of those where I'm like, oh, if they're willing to. Ooh, wow, that was close. Love that. If they're willing to tank, then I'm more than happy to do buffs or debuffs or damage, whether it be range damage or melee damage. I don't care. So I don't mind switching to any number of other tunes that I have. This one, while fun to play, now she was really bad. Like I said, when she was leveling up, really rough. Just making sure there's nothing inside there. Wait for the whole team. Double nukage. Someone did their ion while I kicked off my void. Hey there. That's the communications officer. He's the one that opens the goddamn portal if you don't kill him fast enough. And even if you do, he opens the portal. When you kill him, the portal goes down. So if you can target him, great. If not, then just target the damn portal to know that he's still there, which means you can probably open another one. I have no idea what their cooldown is on that stuff, but definitely if it's a long drawn out fight, he can open up another portal. He can't open more than one at a time, though, I don't think. So that's kind of the thing. And I just going to sneak right past me. I don't even have all my damn toggles on either. That dude just snuck right outside that room. Doesn't appear to be. Not here. Nope, doesn't appear to be. Just jump over the edge then. Just like always. Mode. Boom. Get everybody on you. And again, hasten up as soon as you can. You want to have your powers up on the quick. Quick now. Quick nuke. Ooh. I went for that specific one, by the way, because I knew I would be front and center for most things anyway, being the tank. So PBAEs don't bother me so much when it's the tank that's got to give them, which is nice, I think. Okay, let's hit the clear that way. But I also took it because if you went on one side versus the other, instead of it being a minus to hit buff or debuff, it's a minus damage debuff. So anyone that gets hit that survives it does less damage to me. It's kind of badass, I think. My toggle buffs my damage, also lessens their damage when around me. Another reason why I think that this character is a little more survivable than it lends itself to. Because your resistances, like I said, aren't going to be amazing, and neither is your damage. But I could get, or did get, my resistance to smashing and lethal to be so close to a cap that it's actually quite impressive. Throw that in with the high amount of defenses that I have, and I feel pretty safe, I think. That doesn't mean that I'm immortal. And again, the lack of the heals, regen of any kind, is really kind of my limiting factor, I'd say. But definitely a fun tune to play. Okay, we'll get these guys from here. Just take them out. Yay. Punch folk over here, maybe get a little damage buff going for our nukage. Look at this. Boom. Well, sadly, your damage buff, that was kind of a waste, because your damage buff doesn't work on your nuke, on your judgment. At least I've never been able to get it to work. So unless there's a trick of some kind that I just am not aware of, you cannot buff that one. It's flat out what damage this, which kind of makes sense because some of the damage potential that some of these tunes can actually have, you know, a nuke that went off with like 900% extra damage if you were a brute, you know, 800%. It's just like retarded amounts. So, okay, that's that. I just want to check, make sure that there's not something I'm missing. Looks like we're good. Vader time. Always try to keep an eye too on which direction your Vaders are going. Normally you'd say, oh, you're going up. You're not always. So when you get to like that room where it's like, oh, which one is the one that I wanted to take? If you're not paying attention, you could grab the wrong damn one. And it's really kind of wasted a lot of your time. Communication officer again, when it goes down, the portal will go down. There you go. And you don't have to, just again, attack the portal if you want. But if you're already up in his face, it's just easier to do damage to this thing that's going to be a pain in the ass. He still has to, you know, drop eventually. And I want to say that these drones, little flying hover drones, are protected more against melee than range, or range against melee, something like that. One of them too, they're extremely susceptible to, so their defenses must suck for that particular type of attack. The other thing is, I want to say that they give an inherent perception buff to all other Rikti around them. So if you're trying to stealth around these little bastards, it might be a no-go. Buff up for some damage and accuracy. Nice. Kick off a nice shield charge. Nice damage in a circle. Like I said, you know, I can do okay against minions. I do even decent against lieutenants. It's the real weak spot for this character is, can you take down bosses and elite bosses? And sadly, the answer is yes, but it's a long process. If I'm not popping Skittles to even help that process, and it gets worse. But and my damage, especially one-on-one, is just not amazing. I have a good attack chain for it. These 4 powers that roll here, pretty damn good. But it's not going to be anything right home about compared to like a scrapper or stalker or even a brute that's just wailing on them. Communications officer needs to die. Go. Guys. 50. Very nice. Poacher. Poacher is the one I was teaming with earlier today. They have trap powers, if I'm not mistaken. So, Poacher has archery traps. Traps archery, I should say. Defender, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah, Poacher. Oh, no corruptor, so it is archery traps. So they're better at doing damage than a defender. The other buffs / debuffs aren't as strong. Still there. traps are a nice set. Actually, have been enjoying my own traps corruptor. He is a energy blaster traps corruptor. I call him Blood X. Did my best to mimic Red X from Justice League, Teen Titans. And not surprisingly, Red X was already taken when I went for the name, so I had to pick something different. And Blood X was available, and I'm like, well, close enough. I made him. I was actually quite happy with the build too. After everything's said and done, he's not finished. He's like 28 or 30 right now. But when he finally gets to 35, I'll be ITFing him until he literally hits 50, which will take like a day. He is extremely loved on teams because he has all kinds of kick-ass powers that buff and debuff, and just really good too. Cheap to run too because all his powers are cast and forget them. Unlike the force field where you have to keep the force field running, he can summon a generator every like 2, 3, 4 minutes, whatever. And yes, it's expensive to cast it once, but poof, you cast it and it's done. It just is always running at that point until someone kills it or it expires. So he has a really nice one. I do that one. I'll do a separate video for him to show you guys what he's capable of. But he's extremely fun. He has caltrops too, which are just wonderful. Can't say enough great things about caltrops. I actually kind of half-heartedly joking the other day. They had me and another teammate had caltrops, and we were just really just whipping shit. And I said that in chat, I said, one of the days you have to make me a super group where the only requirement is that you have caltrops on your team, just to see what 8 caltrops can do to like a herd of guys. Because when you get them up there in numbers, the numbers are not super impressive at first. They're like, they tick off like at 1, 2, maybe 3 or more if you get lucky, and then from there it just gets slightly better. But do that for 8 characters. The numbers are just streaming. Like you see these 1s, 1, 1, 1, 1s. That's caltrops probably out right now. So they just have to stand in them. They're extra slow in the area. So the only ones that it's really not useful against are people that are slow resistant, like the werewolves. So you have to, like I said, like a lot of fun just casting like a shit ton of defeat, especially as a tank or a melee type, and just melt some stuff. So yeah. Okay, looks like we're going through tunnels. This is the one thing about the Rikti places that you'll learn to hate, because you'll get caught on like these little lips right here, little edges. Keep an eye on when you're running, so that you don't catch up on a corner thinking that you're fine and you turn out you're not. This is the part of the Lady Grey that I always hate, because it's like find some guys in this weird jungle gym area that like jump up and down, and it's just a pain in the ass. You can't ever keep everyone together. So this is, if anyone's going to die, this is probably where people are going to die. This is a shame, because you just can't keep everyone together in this stuff, because everyone gets out of range of heals and buffs, and, tanking and taunting and all that fun stuff. So it's a shame. Alright, but let's drop down this mess here. And again, I can do an AoE move at 58. You saw that was my dark consumption. Gives me minor damage to them, decent damage to them, and a big AoE around me, and then it gives me endurance based on each guy it hits. And you don't even have to really slot it for endurance, because if you can hit at least 4 guys with it, then you fill in endurance bar completely. Now, certainly you're not going to always hit 4, so a lot of people will slot it for endurance modification, so that when you hit 2 or 3, that's more than enough to put you up. But really, 2 is going to put you at 50%. So if you're really having endurance issues to that magnitude, having it go up to 60 or 70 is probably not really saving you. But everybody's different. I prefer to do damage, plus it has to hit, so it has to have accuracy anyway. So I don't like wasting a damage attack. Alright, where the hell am I at? Did I just find somebody? I feel like I did. Alright, anyway, there's a spot over here. I just want to make sure that there's not... one captive to lead out. Okay, well, while that's going on, we're going to the other area over here. Oh, we got a problem. Hey, peeps. Communication officer needs to die. Complete waste of that move. I don't think there's anyone in there to catch in it. So, alright. So you've got a lot of flying, floating jackasses over there, those damn drones. So, eventually I'm going to have to hit one with something. Get those jackasses to hop over here, maybe. Hey, fellas. The one good thing about taunt, by the way, it has a minus range component to it that a lot of people don't know about or forget about. So when you hit somebody with it, anyone that's in the circle that gets hits with it, it's an AoE effect, it does minus range to them for a short period of time. That minus range is so that they have to close the gap to you. Now that works for many characters, and some it doesn't. And when I say it doesn't, it's because the range is actually still so incredibly good that even at the cut in range is still enough that they can stay at range and mess with you. So just know that when you fight those kind of characters. They're usually the side bastards that do that crap to you. Anyway, there we go. But by and large, if you do beam them, some of them are still going to have to come close to you. And that's still beneficial for your team. And once they get close enough to you, then your AoE aura is on you, the PBAoE aura. Whether it's the damaging aura or whatever it is that you have, in my case it's the damage buff aura, taunts them to you at that point, and it kind of keeps them within melee range. STF in that long, it's just annoying. And it's because of this kind of crap that it's annoying. You have to like hunt. If you get lucky and your team knows what they're doing at this stuff, you can like zip around and poof, shit's done. But the hammy is the fun part to me. Hammy one is and it's the team will die. I mean, there is plenty of ways not to, but it's usually such a cluster pile that, and especially as a pickup group, that not everybody knows what we're doing. Even I forget half the damn time what we're doing. Oops, hey there. So if you mess up the order on how to mess with the hammy, you can get like face stomped by doing certain things. Like there's a melee section to it, and then there's a range section only to it, and then there's holds which have to be done at a specific time. Just a cluster pile of crap has to happen right. Even with it happening right, they're going to have no problems. So I just pop that metal genome. This gives me plus regen to myself just in case, because I am kind of in a spot here where I have a lot of team support. I was debating on which one to grab for that melee one, so I may double build on that. What I mean is, if you go up one side of the tree, you get a massive regen boost when it's on, a minor regen boost when it's not on, which is always nice. And the other thing that you get is on one side of the tree you get a high resistance buff, and on the other side of the tree you get a high defense buff and a taunt. Now, for me, you would think that I would want the taunt, because I'm a tank, right? But I already have really good defenses, and I kind of like really wanted that extra resistance to make sure that when stuff does get through, that if I'm taking minimal damage. So I went the other way. I went for the resistance side of things. Now, maybe it has a taunt, it just doesn't say it, but the defense side specifically says that there's a taunt section to it. So I may, like I said, double build where I have both in my build where I can just decide which one I want, test it out basically, so to speak. Occasions officer needs to die. Alright, damn it, come on. Get over here, you doofus. See, he's close enough that he can still beam me. It basically just keeps them from doing stupid stuff, you know, like shooting at you at like 80 feet range. Stuff like that we're talking about. Here, guys. PBA we move. Another one. Cast the shield charge on my feet. It's a good 3-hit combo. 1, 2, 3. As long as they land for a reasonable number of guys, I'll do considerable damage to them. But again, the downside is it takes a while to do. So we got another person rescued. Here somewhere. sucks. This is the one where people get lost. Warrior. Bullshit. So there's a drone over there. Find my goober. Like I said, the great thing about some of these guys is they're susceptible to either melee or range. I can't remember which. So even if you're not the best shooter, so to speak, you still have a pretty good shot at hitting them damn drones if you do the right attack on them, which is kind of nice. I don't see anything here. Well, woofing all over the place. Go on, man. Thank you. And then these little cubby holes is usually where you'll find the hidden people. So 2 captives to rescue, defeat Dagon, the Dragon, excuse me, jackass. But I think we got everybody here, so it means that the other 2 people are in the other part. That sucks. Where is that? Ah, to the right. This is why those guys are over that way. Always check down here just to make sure there's not like one cowering in some corner or some stupid shit messing you up. I hate these rooms. We've got a pretty good team as far as composition is concerned, so we'll look our way down the list for you that are unfamiliar with the different symbols. Kool-Aid at the very top, our supergroup leader that started this mess. I feel like we're missing something. Oh yeah, we lead them out and then we have to come back here to fight Dragon. He shows up after the fact. So, missing somebody. Go up to this spot here to see what those is. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh, hell. Well, for completion's sake, I'll just put them up just to make sure. Where the hell's the other guy at? So either someone's in here, we just didn't notice. You kind of blitz through this area pretty quick. Of course, there's these up rooms, which always screw people. You get pretty good at remembering the maps, though, I must admit. Like I'll come around here and there'll be a drop down to this ledge here. See? Boop. And usually when you get to this kind of a room, one of them has some location has the pit. So maybe it's downstairs. Always check the little cubbyhole rooms. Excuse me. Up here. I hear noises. Someone's being attacked. Hey, that's fine. So, There's Dragon. Okay. Now we go back to that same room, fight him. So if you're quick, your team knows what they're doing. It looks like they found the extra captive. Outstanding. I'm going to head back to Paragon and kick his ass. If you're quick and get everybody where they're supposed to be going, get them to start leading them out, and you can have like 2 or 3 people, like the tank and like a healer and maybe a nice DPS on your team. 3 people stay behind to go kick Paragon right in the ball sack, and that makes that go quick, I'd say. But get the right spot. Here we go. You can always, of course, do the other once everybody's dropped off the bad guy, or the bad guys, the captives. You can, if you had assembled a team or a recall ally, something like that, one person all the way over here where Dragon's at, and then just wait for everybody to be ready, and then just teleport everybody to the spot and go poof, here you go. Now I don't know that I can take them, and I don't have any buffs that give me any real protection, but I got teammates, so let's give it a go. If you knock shit on your ass with a nice knockback, knockdown maneuver, be surprised at how useful that is for keeping the tank alive. It's not amazing. You can't like spam it or like foot stomp. But yeah, I took a really rock damage on that one. But like I said, I have a single target heal once it lands, and then as soon as I can knock things on their ass again, then I got that slight reprieve. It's a big boost to your damage mitigation, in my opinion. So as a tank or brute or scrapper, even that's up front, knocked down is an amazing ability. If you hit more than one guy, even better. So I've been taunted, it appears. So this bad guy really wants me to fight him. But he's a tough little nut. I'm 54 article. No surprise, I suppose. We need a lot of minus resistance, minus regen effects to screw him up. But at this point, since he's the only one in the room, I don't usually kick off a taunt. He doesn't never do damage. As long as I'm hitting him, I should be doing enough taunting as a tank to keep him on me. But every once in a while I'll still throw him, just to be sure. Because I want to get my buff up. Notice my buff's not going to be anything amazing, because it's only one person that I'm buffing from. I always thought that would have been nice if they found a way to buff you based on the kind of person that you're stealing energy from. So being an AV, you would steal most. If it was a minion, a bunch of minions, you would get very much of a buff. And all that sounds silly, and like, oh, they'd never be able to do that. They actually have that mechanic already in the game. It was added after the fact. It's called Victory Rush, I think. And it's one of those where every time you kill a bad guy, you can scan the body and get Victory Rush for your team. So that's that fight. That wasn't too bad. But Victory Rush, like I said, it scales based on who you're scanning the body of. If it's a lowly minion, you're not going to get much of a buff. If it's a lieutenant, it's better. If it's a boss, it's better than that. AVs and giant monsters are the best. So, anyway, something that I always thought would have been nice for them to add. Mission complete. Again, I'll keep you posted here, but again, until we fight the Hammy, you know we're not done. So here's our Hamidon. The last fight, by the way, will be not the Hamidon, which is what we're doing now. This is the weakened Hamidon, by the way. So this is a watered down version of the massive league battle that you would do for a Hammy fight. But after this, we have to fight Hero 1. Am I saying that right? He was a hero back in the day. He got kidnapped by the Rikti. Oops, did I go to the wrong spot? Yes, I did. Derp. I'm not paying attention. It's probably upstairs. Helicopter. Yeah, there it is. I need to fly over here. Oh, the blades hurt. I'm just kidding. I always thought they should, though. But Hero 1, if it's the one I'm thinking of, Hero 1 gets kidnapped by the Rikti, and you basically have to save the bastard. He gets corrupted by them. There's like 2 different teams that went out to fight the Rikti in one big battle. It's part of the lore of the game. I'm assuming we're going straight to him. You can fight all this other crap here. There's no reason to. There's going to be pylons to take out. There's your weakened hammy. Ugly little jello mold blob bastard. We're basically taking on these things. Let's see, make sure we got a plan here. Everybody's different, so I just want to make sure that I'm teammate friendly. Because there's ways to literally pull them into the Hamidon goo and let Hamidon kill them. Wait for everybody to get here. This is one of those where you don't want to be undermanned. This is not a fight. That next fight's not a fight. It's when you get to the Hammy. So I want to make sure everybody's here for this part so that they can get the whole experience. But yeah, this is Hammy. This is the weekend Hammy, big jello mold bastard. And he has these different, I don't know, I can't call them eyes, but basically people think of them as eyes. They're like, one's a mitochondria, one's an electrolyte, one's a, they give them these silly names. Basically, it's a giant celled organism, alien organism. Dickhead. So there's an order to kill them, and for the love of God I can't remember what it is, and I want to say there's yellow, there's blue, and there's green, and I don't know what order you kill them. I know though the green heals him, so you think that the green will be one you want to take out sooner than later, but I don't think that's true. I think it's the yellow and the blue that you kill first. So he's going to teleport him. Follow me, minions. What? Just explode your feet. I should have sucked off the energy from the first. I killed too many. Now I could get as much of a buff. See? That's planning. Bad planning on my part. Like I said, I play this tune. I like this tune. I don't play it very much, so I'm kind of rusty. I also have this move here, which is a team called Justice move, which is a nice to hit buff / damage buff for a decent amount of time for you and anyone near you that's on your team. Highly recommend you do that. If you don't do your hero missions to do it, you can go to the null goal, have him turn you into like a villain, and then turn you back into a hero, and you'll get called to justice as it'll be like on a timer. So you won't get the power for until you're a hero for X amount of days, which I forget what that is. But it shows up eventually, and then you can slot it like you saw here as a power. And there's a different one for each one, I believe. So there's one for being a hero, one for a villain, one for a rogue, and one for vigilante. So that's definitely a thing. Well, not out of endurance by any stretch of the imagination. The AoE damage that it does is a nice grab for attention. Get all the bad guys to focus on me. My team's messing with the pylon. So it's nice damage and to hit buff for me, of course, too. But the fact that it does damage, just remember I have punch folk, right? Any damage I do to anybody in a circle around them, basically, I get aggro. So extremely helpful. Looks like I'm missing my target too. See those little beams that was kicking off that guy? This is a decoy, so it don't matter, so thank God. But if that hits your character, you get really floored for a lot of bad shit. So let's get everybody over here. Get a nice little pool off everybody for some damage buff. Bad. Get everybody on me. Get my hasten going. Again, if I really need another power, like right now, like these guys aren't too big of a cooldown, I can hit burnout and boom, they're back up. The downside of burnout is it lowers your endurance, maximum endurance by like 40 or something ridiculous. So even with all my little bits and bobs and kick-ass accolades and shit, it would drop me down to like a 60 or 70% endurance. And remember, your recovery is based on your maximum endurance pool, how much it could be, not how much it is. So by lowering it down to 70 like that, I really screw myself out of a lot of recovery. It's sometimes needed. Sometimes you really need to have those powers back up. Like I need a double shield charge just to do whatever it is I'm going to do or I'm going to drop. That's the reason for it. But like I said, I haven't used it for so damn long that I'm starting to think that maybe I just don't need it. And I'm sure that'll change if I start doing different content. I'm just probably because I'm just doing content I'm so damn familiar with. I start doing some of those harder eye trials, for instance, and then they become extremely useful. The one that would become useful for us, of course, like things like one with a shield. That would be a good one. That's your God mode. So that would be a good reason for it, I'd say. God mode is one of those where, in my instance, I think with me, cap hit points, I think, really decent resistances across the board except for psi, and really good recovery. But I'm already pretty damn high on most of those things anyway, so it's not that big a deal for me. It's the recovery that's kind of nice. But again, when it crashes, and that's the issue, because it's a massive cooldown. When it crashes, then I'm susceptible. So if I want to not have it crash or not be affected by the crash so much, I could pop a burnout and reactivate it, so to speak. So that's kind of what I was thinking about too. Okay, so there's our last doofus. Again, I don't remember, so we have to ask. So we have these antibodies. So you see we got yellow, we got blue electrolytes, and mitochondria, mending mitochondria. Yeah, oh shit, we defeat that thing. Dink. I want to say use the yellows first. See if we can kill it. If we can kill it, that's probably a good sign. The bastard hits you, and he can stop your regen, so it just moves. So if you monitor this stuff, you'll start seeing things start changing. You wonder what's going on. It's always nice to have a jetpack though for this if you're not a flying type of tank. Most people aren't. I find it rare that tanks would fly. They're always on the ground anyway, so super speed or super jump seem to work, or even teleport for that matter. But you can't really teleport and fly it. Blast these bastards like you want to. So. Okay. There's no shame in backing away. A lot of people just kind of muscle through it and just like go from one to the other to the other. If you're not that tough, and I'm not that tough as you can see, I may actually retreat until I get my health back up. But if you're doing like a master of, again, I point that out because there's those ones people that like to do the master ofs. That's usually like no deaths. So this will be where you have those problems. He is bad. I need to retreat. Get the hell out of there. Shit. Hide behind a rock. Take a rest, take a knee. He can't hit you usually from here. I don't think he has even an AoE attack, so if someone like runs around the corner, I don't think he can still get you. But don't quote me on that. We can back up. Thank you. Okay, so now mitochondria antibody. I think it's my last one. It was hoping to try to clear all of them because, like he says, he thinks that the yellow ones are melee, which is what you see me doing. The other ones are, one of them is range. The range are the ones that you have to use hold powers on. That's why you always want to have at least a controller, if not multiple characters on the team that can do that shit. So range now for the blues. So, because we can do range, I can only use a couple moves that I have this range. I think they literally screw you huge if you don't attack with range. If you attack with melee, they just crush your ass. I'm still thinking though that we need to do greens first. Where everybody needs to be on the same damn target. Get one. You get one, you can get them all. It's like when you do the ITF. You kill Rami once, and you can kill them all 3 times after that. So it gets very frustrating when you get a team that's like, oh, we can't do it. Dude, you killed them once. If you killed them once, that was the hardest part. After that, you know you've done it, you can do it again. Just keep everyone on the team, buff up and do your thing, and muscle through it, but it's easier to kill each time. So not necessarily the same thing here, but the same general principle though. If we kill one of them, then we should be able to kill all of them. Just everyone needs to be fighting the same thing. And hitting, of course. See, it's getting healed, but if we spike it with enough damage back to back to back, suddenly it'll drop. See? Come on, hit it before it heals, come on. Boom, there we go. Ready. Start on this one. Almost got it. Beautiful. Got a nice blue over here. So he's going to circle around and kill all the blues, and we'll circle around and kill all the greens, hopefully. The greens are going to be the weird one because, again, like I said, you have to have the holds. If you can't hold it, it won't take damage. Like, it'll take a little and it'll heal, a little and it'll heal. But if you hold it, it's not healing itself. So you target one, blitz it. Then after that, you target another one, blitz the next one. Just keep repeating the process. You probably need a fly for this one. Yeah, this fight is definitely not enemy friendly. Agent Lee, you definitely got that correct. Alright, last blue. You see little green beams are zipping me. Getting pissy. We take this bastard out, and then from there we do the greens. Okay. Now we need holes. I don't think this matters if it's melee or range, but you definitely have to do holes. So they need to spam them holes. If we don't got enough holes, then we will damage this thing, basically, is what you're going to see. See, it's taking damage, retreat, get the fuck out of there. So, where's my... Where the hell did it... Still on recharge? Did I delete it from my tray? You deleted it from my tray. You dipshit. Oh, anyways, okay. Thank you. Yep. Whoa, that was done with me. Flew right in range of all the beams. Like I said, once you got one of them down, you know you can drop the rest of them once the team don't drop, kind of thing. Like if you start losing teammates, that's the bummer. Get people that are like, oh, this is taking too long, and then they want to quit. They get frustrated, especially if they're dying a lot. And again, I feel your pain, I understand that shit, but I can't tank these in a way that's going to keep them from zapping you guys. Because I don't think so. You know, they're going to hit whoever we hit. So, if we hold them, cycle through them quick enough, it really is not that big a deal. Because it's just, like, you almost got to get, like, I want to say 2 or 3 holds back to back on this bad boy to lock it to the point where it's going to be taking damage. And then if everyone's paying attention and just doing damage, it dies. So, like I said, it's one of those where there's a little bit of planning before you come on this mission. Make sure you have some people, and I say some, not just one, that have holds. Because while one person's probably more than enough to do it, if he or she drops out or has issues or something comes up, you guys are just wasting your time because you don't have holds and you cannot kill this thing, man. So there's no way that I know of to do enough damage to the mitochondria, any of them, unless they're bent out. So I lost one of the people that are doing their holds, you see. Someone's holding it right now. Just lost somebody. Anyway. And I am the worst character for this because I don't have one goddamn hold on this team. Which is weird because usually that's the thing you grab. It's the epic power pole set. They're almost always like a hold. Alright. Finally got it. Now we fight the big guy. He's going to be a dick to me. I think my heals work still. Maybe. Oh, that's rough. That's bad. Unfortunately, I have a self-res that I've acquired. Not enough to get me back to full, though. Nope, that'll get me back up to do this part. Team buff. There's some accuracy and damage for everybody. Kick its ass. Let's try our god mode with the shield. Boom. It's clickable. It's on me. I should have the best possible protection that I can give myself. With the exception of this. I think it's the greens. He says it's the blues. I think it's the greens. I could be mistaken. So I'm right on that. But basically, the more of those things that you kill, the easier it's going to be for you to do this next part. So, and he's going down, as you can see. So we're doing well. No, this is 54 elite boss. This is not an easy fight by any stretch of the imagination. And it should be the last mission coming up now. Boom. very nicely done. Normally when you do this, and it's a big one, and it's a huge fucker, like you have massive parties flying around. But when you complete it, I want to say in the center of the damn thing, it drops a Hamio, and like the first person that gets there grabs it or something, and you get a free Hamio or some shit like that. At least that's what it used to be, I want to say. I don't know if that's still a thing or not. I think that's kind of silly, because if it's a big-ass league fight and there's like 24 plus people there, everyone should get a Hamio for killing the son of a bitch. But that is definitely the hardest part of this entire task force, in my opinion. Everything else at this point is just, tank and spank and you're done. So we're going to fight Hero 1, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, he's an evil-looking bastard. He's been basically turned into a vampire hero. The Honoree. Maybe it was the Honoree. Because where's Hero 1? Which one is Hero 1? Maybe the Honoree is what he's called now? We'll see. He's got like a British outfit. So I want to say he's a British hero. Or, based on the lore anyway, he was a British hero. And which is pretty damn cool, I think. And he's got a cape. I'm trying to explain his superpowers. I don't know that I can. He's basically Superman without really being Superman. You come in here, and part of the mission is that you see everybody that you're supposed to be fighting or helping, the longbow and the Rikti, are basically incapacitated or dead. And this is a bad scene. Like, what the hell did we just walk into? So this is the, oh shit, what are we going to do? So, again, more Rikti caves. So you make your way through here, fight the Rikti, of course. And I'm going to crash here if I did it already. I think I already crashed, good. I'm going to activate that. This, because I think my super trooper juice are off of me. He's dead. But yeah, you work your way to the main hub, so to speak. We got generators to destroy, but that can be after the fact. We're going to fight the Honoree. He basically gets there's two things you fight. You fight the Honoree, and you fight the heroside, whatever the hell that is. Basically, it's a Cree, or Rikti, and the Rikti leader. As you kill him or get close to killing him, he summons the Honoree. The Honoree's the one you have to fight. That he's been vampirized by the Rikti, and he's a total D-bag. But compared to what we just fought, he's going to be a cake. So, again, you basically just plow through this stuff. Like I said, it's more of the same. Nothing really fancy here. The last fight is a big-ass room, so it's hard in the regard that people like to spread out, so to speak, and they'll be like, oh, let's go this way, I'll take on this half of the map. What are you doing that shit for? You're on a team. So just stay on the team, stay close to everybody, reasonably anyway, and you guys will just blow right through this shit. Someone's already like zipping around to get there, so we can just teleport us, and that's fine. So that's a plan. So basically stealthing to zip this part along so we don't have to waste our time. Just buff everybody up real quick. Oh hell. Activate the wrong power. Oh, so good. See, that's the main bad guy. We'll kick his ass, and behind him will be a portal. And in that portal will step out the Honoree. He's the one we need to kick his ass and finish him off and finish this guy's ass off. And all the minions around them, and the portals are popping everywhere, and everyone's getting zapped. The generators are down these pylons, these ramps. If you do those, that at that point people can spread, do whatever. But basically just tank and spank the first main bad guy. This guy here. Good. Get on this fool. Ooh, nice damage. Buff me. And I have him as my target always, hopefully, so that I can taunt him. Keep him, he's the heavy hitting guy, and then whipping an AoE taunts around him. Keep him off my team. this would be not a bad time for lore pets, by the way. We have lore pets here. Let's see, I got a cataphract. This base, which face off. Oof. Now, if I wanted to be a smart tank, which I do, I would probably pick groups away from him, because he's already on me thanks to my taunt aura, and pull groups to me. That way, the AoE from one beating on this guy kills off the minions, so to speak. Here is the guy. Yeah, see, you got the little British helmet. There we go. That's British, right? It feels like it is. So he's just another Superman type. Fangs and something. He's basically another Superman type. We just need to beat him. So we're going to deal with that, but I'm not particularly worried. Over here. Talking over to me. Don't return. Yeah, like his cape. So, he's fun. You actually save him, I believe you save him in another mission when you become an incarnate. As part of your unlocking of your alpha, if you do the mission, you can go to Ouroboros when you hit 50. Level up, of course, and it'll say, hey, you got this contact up on our board to talk to. You should go talk to this guy, Mender and Neil or whatever. And that jackass gives you a series of missions that you do, and one of the missions is saving this jackass. You save the honoree, basically whip on him solo, it'll be as tough as this. And then you teleport him back to base, so that you can basically work out the fact that you've been corrupted by the Rikti. And you work on him and him, so to speak. And that's it. Now we just destroy the generators. Easy peasy, pumpkin squeezy. Just giving everyone a heads up what's going on. This is, like I said, the one where you can literally get the mission, the badges right after. You'll see after the mission's over. So you get here one DNA sample or merit reward to your merits. Warning, Rikti ships have been ahead or Steel Canyon. So exit here. If you stay on the team, this is the second part of this video. If you stay on the team, then you can literally just merge with everybody else in this zone. You'll call in the mission, of course, but just head to Steel Canyon. So what I do is I teleport. And I can use the Ouroboros portal, or in this case I'm using the Wentworth teleporter, because there's a Wentworth inside Steel Canyon. I'll just teleport to it. Boom. Steel. Do that. Spawn over here, and now the first thing that will happen is you have bombs. Rikti will scour the area with bombs. So what you're looking for is these paths, these green paths. This is part of the path of the ship as it flies through the area. So just go to the spot, be on the team. You hear the bomb, the sirens going. That's your indication that shit's going down. So just be on a team, follow the green lines. There's going to be more than one set. So there's a set north, there's a set south. So just pick one, and you'll see them flying roughly on these lines. Ships will come in, and they'll just drop, drop, drop. Now the ships can kill you, so be real careful of that shit. So don't be standing next to them or trying to punch them in the face or anything silly. They'll just nuke you from orbit, so to speak, and just be a general D-bag. But yeah, see, here you go. Here they come. Get out of the way of the path, and then just look for the bombs as they come through. You only have so much time to do the bombs, because then after the bombs, they'll be somewhere inside, and honestly, they'll probably be over here by the person that levels you up. and you can kill the son of a bitches then, and I'll be the ones that poured in. But, yeah, you basically follow the bombardiers, and then look for the bombs that didn't explode. You go punch them in the face until they explode, and then from there, you need like 25 of those, I think. See, like that right there? No. It's gonna look weird. Let's zoom into my map so I'm paying attention. Oof. There's a bomb that went bluey. This is one where if you have flight, it comes in super handy. Oh shit, see what I'm saying? That's just a bomb that dropped. Just happened to be next to me when I let it go off. Yeah, boy, did they hit hard. So again, bombs are going to drop roughly in the path that you're seeing. You're going to try to find the ones on the ground and get on a team that's smacking them. Now, because we're on a team, anything that they got counts towards me, and anything that I kill counts towards them. There's one right now. So all you really have to do is like the minorest amount of damage to the damn thing, and you count towards killing. Do we have any others? Where? I don't think I got any credit for that. From behind. Ooh. You see like that? Oh, no biscuit. It's not like me. Here's a bomb. There we go. Like I said, just the tiniest amount of damage on it from your team, and it counts towards you. So you'll keep track of your bombs. See if they show up in your... You get the bomber's badge, or what the hell it's called. I think it actually is called the bomber's badge for that matter. Oh, there's a nice one. If you're trying to kill them, got other people that are not on your team, feel free to let them get a swing in. Be nice. Whoa. Shit, hell, damn it. The bomb straight ahead. Like we formed a league, so if you go to here, you'll see that you're on a league now. Yeah, it's smart. Good team. By going on a league like this, that means everybody is part of our party. So because it's a massive team, we have all those people that are taking up bombs. We'll get that damn badge in one run of this. So that's not bad. There, I thought that was a bomb. It's a character. Oh, here's one. Yep. And again, if you just do this enough, I want to say it's like 20, 25, 30 bombs, something like that, you have to kill officially. It's hard to get on the first try, I will say that. Some people have a big issue with it. But if you work at it, one, maybe two missions is enough for you to actually pull this shit off. And they do show up besides this Lady Grey task force, by the way. It's not that it's impossible to see it other times. But the point is, this is one of those guaranteed times where you know that it'll be up. Kill that one. kill this one. Oof. There's a bomb to the face. The bombs do go on for a decent amount of time, so don't get discouraged. But people will break. Badge earned. Bomb specialists. Boom. Badge. Nice. Just because I have the badge doesn't mean I'll stop looking for bombs, though. That's the hard one. After this, literally the other two, you're almost guaranteed to get me. Just find where the party is. And they spawn for a decent amount of time. Not the bombs, the Rikti, the next part. And then, like I said, the Rikti, the next part's going to be fighting Rikti, I want to say, and then fighting, what do you call it? The mech suit, the assault armor, I think is what they call it. Got to kill like a certain number of those little bastards. They show up all the damn time, too. So if you get in that big mob of where they are, which if we look at our map, you can probably zone out and see where people are congregating. This is probably where they're going to fight the Rikti. Yep, Homer Pompazi. Oh, nice. So basically, over here, Rikti are showing up. I'm going to take these bastards out. Zoom out. You also probably want to turn your graphics down. A lot of people have graphics issues, but our computers nowadays are actually not that bad. People will buff. You'll see like massive buffs, but those things there need to be attacked. You want to take out as many of those as you can, because that's one of your badges for the heavy assault suits. Then from there, it's just attacking Rikti, and you're going to get that. That's guaranteed. As long as you're at the reasonably the beginning of this part, this next part, the hardest part I'd say is getting the assault suits needed, and that's not an issue. We're on a league, so everyone gets credit for everyone's kills. So if I kill it, great. If you kill it, that's fine, because you're on my team. You don't want to be too close to the police scanners, teleporters. They will literally screw you over, because they teleport the bad guys. Like, I'll be working on getting this guy to be almost dead. They'll teleport him out of the way, and we don't get credit for that kill. So that's a thing. That's fine. Just refocus, move a little farther down. Just tell the team, hey, we're too close to whatever. So you see, they're all over this area. So we're getting plenty. So there's not any reason that we can't be standing basically right here, killing shit. So, but again, I will be looking for mech suits because I want to get the badge for that. And like I said, if we just stick here for this entire thing, we'll probably get the other two badges we need to get the, not the Eye of the Magus, what's it called? I think it's the Chinese either. What is it called? It's going to bug me now. So Eye of the Magus is the awesome buff. Resistance to everything and defense against everything except for Sai. Use the kind one with the accuracy buff, right? Slash the screw over. That's the substitute we kill that. Here. And what is the other one? It's the one we're actually working on. The name has just escaped me, guys. Eye of the Magus. Elusive Mind, there it is. So, the Elusive Mind. Consider yourself back. Like I said, this is the only way that I know of to get it, is through these raids. You can't fight these guys in any other situation where you get credit for them. Any other time. They can randomly spawn these guys, like you'll see them in your hero probably a villain in the film too. Equivalent. But they'll say, oh, they're invading the area, and no one was doing a Lady Grey task force, for instance. That's perfectly fine and valid. But if you want to force it, like I said, do the Lady Grey task force, complete it, or watch for someone that will say, hey, we're going to put on Lady Grey, and if you're not doing it, that's fine. Know that they're doing it, though. Keep yourself available and be looking at that Hero Zone event. So when the Rikti Invasion occurs, you can be like, oh shit, zip over to there and join a team like this. You can get your 3 badges in Elusive Mind, poof, at like level 30. You can totally do that shit. So this is just taking me forever because it's taking me forever to remember to do all the stuff that I need to do for it. Of course, you get your Vanguard merits, of course, too, for being the Vanguard. Your Assault Suit to kill. Definitely want to take those out. Before too long, we'll actually get those badges. Go under defeats. Yeah, Watchman, that was the other one. It's going to be Heavy Assault. Yeah, we got all 3. So I got it now. So it's in here somewhere. I just don't have it. Trailer full. Elusive Mind right there. So, oh, it did show up. Yeah, I got it. So that's it. That's really what I do. Well, because you're on the team, be polite and stay help other people, because some people may have come late. So, you got nothing better to do. And again, getting me those merits that you need. So what the hell. Plus, it's the invasion of the Yin. You gotta protect the world, man. What the hell's wrong with you? You're very wrong contact. But yeah, that's a nice little trinket right there. Product science resistance, and I want to say it does defense as well. Right there. Massive buff. And then what do you say this? But the point is easy enough to get. One of the easier accolades to get, in my opinion. And almost everybody needs some silent resistance / defenses. So easy to get, doesn't last long. It's like a minute buff, and it's like a 25-minute recharge on the goddamn thing. It's really sucky. But for when those fights come where you know you're going to need it for like a really hard-hitting jackass, those psi attacks, as a tank, especially a tank that's weak against psi, I'll pop that bad boy and hope, beyond all hope, that we got a minute of protection against that son of a bitch, that my team can keep me alive after that. Because there's not a whole lot of things in the game that give you psi resistance in this game. There's some IO set bonuses that do. There is, of course, powers that you can use on another team. Buff them, that'll give them side defense and or side resistance. There's not many. Remember I mentioned that Shadowfall power, the cloak, if you will, of darkness around the character. They have the built-in stealth. Remember I said it gives defenses as well as resistances. It actually gives resistances to psi, like 20 or 15% depending on how you slot it. So, kind of two, of course, are you a mastermind, are you a controller, are you a defender, that's different numbers for each of them. But the point is that's cheap and easy psi resistance. So while a tank may be taking a pounding from something that's psi, if there's a character on the team that had Shadowfall on, it's probably range, because they should be, I'd say, have them inch a little closer to you so that you get that Shadowfall under your feet. You'll see it right here, that little black cloud, that's probably Shadowfall. And it's up here somewhere. Probably this one right here. Yeah, looks like the Persian. Right there. Shadowfall, like literally is, I want to say energy resistance, negative energy resistance, and psi resistance is what it gives you. So, pretty baller. And it's one of the few ways that I know that you can actually cheaply get. Oops, there you go. Ooh, suck it, bitch. One of the cheap ways I know of to get psi resistance on a tune. I actually have made a tune, Cold Dark Night, that could have hard cap resistance to psi on him. He could literally be It's not saying that we are. Sometimes there's a lull and then they start back up again. So don't feel like you need to bounce immediately. But I wait for it to literally say dangerous pass or cancel or something of that nature. You can even scour the area sometimes and get bombs. But, boom. That was it. That was awesome. I really wanted to get that accolade on somebody so I could show it to you guys, and that's the marriage. Like I said, Elusive Mind. I'll even go all the way back to here. I like to be at the Wentworth. I'll even go, there's the cancel alert. And pop it, shut off all my stuff, pop it, and show you under combat attributes what it actually gives you. Or hell, I could probably just right click it on one of these things and it'll show you. But, yeah, Elusive Mind, 3 badges, and again, you just saw them. Most recent ones, if you do a recent, you'll see them at the top. We have Watchman, Bomb Specialist. I'm missing one. Must have gotten it a while ago. But all 3 of them. The Bomb Specialist was the hard one. Watchman was the one for just fighting the Rikti in general. And then, of course, the defeat. The other defeats was... Where was it? They should be side by side, damn near. So, should be easy to find. Sentry, Chief, and Bomb Specialist. Those 3. 100 invading Rikti hordes. Sounds horrible, right? Nah, it's not that big a deal. You get that faster than you get this one. 10 of those Rikti heavy assaults, and we saw plenty of those. And again, if you're on a team, their kills are your kills. You'd be surprised how fast that shows up. So I mention that because if you're like a healer type that doesn't do like really epic damage, that's why you join the team. So you can get that. Same with the bombs. 25 is a lot to get in one pass, and I did. This is amazing. I'm very happy with that. But it's common to get 11, 13, so don't feel bad if you don't get a bunch. But if you're on a big team, a league like we just did there where it was multiple teams merged together, it's easy to get to 25 in one pass. Well, easy. It's possible to get 25 in one pass. So shoot for that, and then after you get all 3 of those, literally, you get the Elusive Mind, which is the moderate psi resistance. Let's pop it. Psi resistance at 7%. Wow. 25% defense. That's the reason you do it. That's the take-home message right there. The 7.5, it's lame sauce shit. But it's better than nothing. It takes forever for it to recharge, and it only lasts for a minute. I always thought that was kind of weird. It is up faster, and I don't know that that's because of global recharge. That could be a thing. It could be that I can increase it again by doing this. Again, so it is global recharge, because Aegis Radial increases your global recharge for a short period of time. So I can actually cut that down, so that's nice. So for those people that have built in a lot of recharge, looks like those accolades kick in quicker. So that 25-minute cooldown is not really 25 minutes. I mentioned that because while Elusive Mind is not, again, stellar, the other one, the Eye of the Mag, is the one that gives you massive defenses to everything, massive except for Psi, and massive resistance to everything except for Psi. That's all well and good. It doesn't last very long. For those that have God mode, like one with the shield or something similar, this is the move you use where you do this, fight, and just before this thing crashes, you pop Eye of the Magus. And then you fight, and then when Eye of the Magus wears off, hopefully this thing's back off of recharge. It's not always, it's not guaranteed. You can do Eye of the Magus, I know, though, with like, Peacebringers have a God mode called a Light Form or some such. And it's God mode where it's like massive resistances, you turn into a big glowing energy angel. It's really kind of cool, and it doesn't last very long. The crash hurts, and so when the crash comes, you're basically screwed. So what people have done to have permanent Lightbringer mode is they will have massive global recharge. They'll have Eye of the Magus, like this power here, and they'll have it where Peacebringer mode gets activated for most fights, and they go in and just beat shit down. And then before it crashes, they'll pop Eye of the Magus, and then they'll still be buffed up during that crash period. Beat, sit down, and then after, just before Eye of the Magus wears off, their light form's back up again. So they have damn near perma light form, which is just, baller. And it's just, one of those are like you're basically tanking all kinds of crazy shit. Peace Bringers, I want to say that their resistances cap out at like 80 or 85%, whereas tanks and brutes cap out at 90. And to put that in perspective, everybody else caps out at around 75. So as a scrapper that can tank pretty damn tough because I have high defenses and really nice resistances, I have a scrapper that can do smash the lethal stuff anyway pretty darn easy. I still die because even with 25% of the damage coming through and having soft cap defenses besides, I can't keep my health up enough to just for instance, if you're in a big mission, a common thing that people will do, they'll be like, oh, prove to me you're a badass. So they'll have you step into a big room of guys that are swinging at you. You'll have all your toggles on, of course, and you just stand there and let them hit at you. And if with them hitting you and everything else besides, you're still able to keep your health up and you're not fighting them one goddamn bit, so let's say for 2 minutes or so, you're just letting them beat on you, and you're taking some damage, but you're healing faster than they hurt you. That's a badass tune. My scrapper cannot do that for tough fights like that because there's too many guys, there's too many hits, and when the hits come through, they do crit damage. And even if it's only 25% of the damage coming through because it's smashing or lethal, it still crits and that double damage. So 25 now jumps back to 50. Get enough of those back to back to back, and my health goes, and I'm screwed. Whereas this tank can totally do that, and I can stand there damn near all day long. And the only thing that screws her over is if for some reason I get stunned, and that's where this active defense comes into play. But with that, that's everything I wanted to show you guys. Again, that's the Lady Grey Task Force, and that's the Rikti Invasion that occurs afterwards, and that is the Elusive Mind Accolade. With that, my name is Brothermutant. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.